Hey gang, Lou here from Jersey Shore Fabricators. So it's been a while since I posted anything. Actually, I had a little problem. I do all my recording on my phone, and I lost my phone, which means all the video that I had of this really cool fence that we built, the 71 Mustang, the 65 Mustang, and a couple of other projects we had, are gone. My phone was lost on the side of the road someplace, so what can I tell you? So, new phone, and we're just going to have to start over fresh. So, what's going on today? Well, we got this 2016 Colorado Z71. There's another video back in my history, the second video of doing a leveling kit on the Colorado, not the first one. This is that same truck. So, it's got the leveling kit on it. It looks pretty good. Customer's quite happy with it. But he wants wheel spacers installed. The wheels don't come out far enough for his liking. So, you look down the side, you see they're kind of tucked in pretty much. You know, it is what it is. My dog's waiting for me to throw the ball. Because that's all he does. He chases a ball. That's it. So, in between I'm going to play with him. Also doing an oil change on it. And then something's going on with the rear bumper. I don't know. I don't know if I have to pull it down or do paint work. But we'll see what's going on with that. So, let's get I already got it jacked up. Let's get the wheels knocked off of this and see what we get done. So, wheel spacers. Believe it or not, I had to do that 4 times because I kept on saying wheel studs. Anyways, wheel spacers. They're about as dumb as a hammer. Alright, so all it is a hunk of machined aluminum or steel, whatever, plastic. It's very, very simple. This goes over this. Now, you see these drilled and slotted rotors. We put these on, I don't know, 6 months ago, 8 months ago. So they're brand new. There's no rust. The only thing you want to be careful of if you're doing this on your original rotors is take a wire brush or something, clean this surface off. All right, if you can't get this wheel spacer to fit right and fit flush up against the wheel, do yourself a favor. Go buy a new set of rotors. You know, they're $50 a piece, but you know, if you don't, and this doesn't sit right, you know, you're going to have a nasty vibration in the front end. It's not going to be able to be torqued properly. It could come off while you're driving. And, you know, nobody wants to die because you made a mistake. These particular ones are made by a company called Bora, made in the USA. Made in the USA. Okay. Looks like it's part number 6344575. Yeah, they're just wheel spacers. Now, the way these go on, watch how hard this is. Ta-da! Now, it does come with new lug nuts, and the instructions say to torque them to whatever your factory wheel specs are. In the case of this Colorado, factory torque specs are 140 foot-pounds, which I think is about 8 Ooga-Doogas. But you know, if you want to do the job right, get yourself a torque wrench. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. So first little trick is save yourself a little bit of time. The lug nuts that come off the vehicle are 22 millimeter. The lug nuts that go on, to hold the wheel spacer on, are 19 or 3/4. So get yourself a cordless impact. I don't recommend using an air gun because you could possibly over torque these. Now this little 20 volt Ingersoll Rand, this is not one of those fancy snap-on ones that have, you know, it's cordless and has like 4,000 foot-pounds of torque. Now, if you're like me, you probably don't have anybody around to go step on the brake so you can tighten these up. So get yourself a little pry bar, just a little one. Put that up in between your wheel studs. Take your torque wrench. And then just let the pry bar hold on to it, and eventually you should get there. See? Nothing to it. 5 more to go. So that's on there. Everything spins nice and true. Life is good. That's how easy it is. Now the only thing we had to do is rotate the tires. Customer purchased new Nitto tires when we did the lift kit. The secret to getting a long, happy life out of your tires is proper inflation and rotation. So, being that we're working on the passenger front, this is going to the driver rear. And the driver rear is going to come to the passenger front. And then the driver front's going to go to the passenger rear. Passenger rear is going to come to the driver front. And the spare tire is going to stay where it is. As long as you do a cross pattern, you know, that's really what's important. You know, there's a age-old argument as far as bringing the spare tire into it. He doesn't have 5 tires that are the same. So just crisscross them, get the fronts to the back, and switch sides with them. And, you know, that's greatly going to extend your very expensive purchase, depending on what kind of tires you bought, and keep them nice and square and flat. Well, I guess let's get this thing back together and see what it looks like on the ground. One last thing I want to add. On your wheel spacers, I guess it may vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. I'm not sure. On this particular vehicle, well, these particular spacers, there is a ridge right here where my finger is, okay? And on the back of the wheel, there's a hole. Now, I noticed when I was putting these on, I started with the rear, that you do have to have it lined up perfectly, otherwise it won't sit flat. So right now it's all loosey-goosey moving around until I get it right where it needs to be, and then it's set. So now, real quick, what you want to do, just get 1 or 2 lug nuts kind of started on here. Don't run them down, just get them started. Let the wheels sit loose. Get it where it needs to be. Then you can take your little electric impact. Just to make sure it don't move. Then go ahead and start your other lug nuts and tighten them down. So one of the other things that the customer asked me to do is an oil change on this while it was here. And he's opted to make my life a whole lot easier. I hadn't seen one of these before. Believe it or not, all the years I've been doing this, I have not seen one of these before. So it's a magnetic drain plug. So you take out your factory drain plug. That little housing there goes in. You clean off your drain plug, and it just simply is held in with a magnet, and there's a little gasket on it. I love that. When you want to drain the oil, just take your pliers, pull that out, and that's it. How cool is that? I know, it's little things. I'm going to start buying these for all my customers, just to make it easy on me. Alright, I'll get you up top. I'll show you what goes on with the filter. Now up top here, to get the oil filter out, this uses one of those paper cartridge filters. So looking at the engine compartment, okay, we're on the driver's side of the car. Here's the airbox. Right behind the airbox, right down there, see that nut that's hanging out? That's going to be a 24 millimeter. So you get a socket on there, and get an extension that gives you a comfortable height to work with. So I'm going to use this little one here. Okay, maybe that's not so comfortable. Ah. And then you're just going to go ahead and spin that off. I suppose if you're some kind of cretin, you can use an electric impact, which I think somebody did on this. So this is a little embarrassing and troublesome. I'm actually on this with 2 hands, and I cannot get this thing to budge. Let me go grab a electric impact, see if that doesn't get it off. Well, I got a little scary for a second, so I had to break out this bad boy to get down to there and give it a couple of good tugs. Now, it's printed, or it's cast right into the housing. 25 newton meters. All right, so how many millipeters is a newton meter? Now, Google says 18 foot-pounds. There's no way. No way in the world that was 18 foot-pounds. So, yeah, that's a mutant, probably at some quickie oil change place. Let me show you how good my new electric impact gun works, and ran that sucker all the way down. I'll tell you. Okay, so let me get this out. And there's your oil filter. Okay, well now I know some quickie oil change place did this, because when we look at the oil filter, well, it's a Polish oil filter. That doesn't belong on a GM car. No. What you need is this. Yeah, okay, I wasn't so dramatic. Anyways, that's the part number you need, PF2129G. Believe it or not, you get it right at Walmart. You don't have to kill yourself going to the dealership and spending all that money. I think it was like $8. Now, the one thing, no matter which brand filter you buy, it's going to come with a new O-ring. That O-ring has to be replaced every single time you take this out. So I just take a little pick, get up underneath it, roll that off. Give this a quick cleaning. Because if you don't replace it, then you really run the risk of, I don't know, 6 quarts of oil shooting out all over your engine. And that would suck. Because these trucks take synthetic oil, and it ain't cheap. Now, there are cheap brands of synthetic oil. I don't endorse or promote any particular brand, simply because I don't have that much brand loyalty. I do like Castrol GTX. I've been using that for years. I just simply, see this little groove here? That groove right there. And that's where your O-ring goes. Just like that. Now you take your new AC Delco, high performance, made in the multiverse filter, and there's a little assembly downside of here that this has to fit on. Make sure it's just, you know, it's snug on there, like that. Okay, that's it. Now, go put this back in the truck and put 6 quarts of oil on it. Alright, so at this point, you're ready to put oil back in the truck. Congratulations. Like I said, I don't endorse any particular brand. And I don't always just use what's on sale. What's important to remember on these newer GM vehicles, there's a little Dexos label. What that means is that the oil put in has to be certified by GM for certain standards. And in this case, we're using Pennzoil. Generally, I use Castrol. My own cars, believe it or not, because they got like 300,000 miles, I use the Walmart brand of high mileage oil, and you know, they run just fine. Being that this is a fairly new truck, obviously we want to keep everything, you know, as right as possible, short of going to the dealership. That's why, you know, I on newer cars I always use factory filters, you know, Delco for GM, Motorcraft for Ford, Mopar for Jeeps. I couldn't tell you what any of the foreign cars take because I don't work on them. So you're going to need a funnel for this because GM was smart enough to put a 90-degree turn where the oil fill is. So you're just going to have to take your time and just let it go as fast as it can go without spilling over. No point in you guys watching me do this for another 5 quarts. Unless you're waiting for it to spill. In which case, well, I won't tell you. And didn't spill a drop. It's the first time in a long time. Alright. Now, you know as much about changing oil on a Colorado as I do. Alright. I'll get a couple things wiped down in here. I like to take the used oil, put it right back in the container that it came out of, take it right back to the parts store. Although I have a 55-gallon drum here I can use for waste oil, that thing costs like $150 to get empty. Auto parts store is 5 minutes away from my house, so, well, shop, whatever. Alright, I'm gonna get this cleaned up and we'll get it outside and we'll see what it looks like with the new wheel spacers on it. Alright, well there she is, all back on the ground. So we put on 1.5 inch wheel spacers. Seems to have pushed the wheels out, I don't know, about 1.5 inches. I'm not a fan of wheel spacers, especially these diesel douchebags that put on these wheels that stick out like 4 feet from the body. But I gotta tell you, these I think look pretty damn good. I think that's just right. Or as I like to say, that's the way the factory should have done it. Alright guys, that wraps us up. Thanks for watching.